Welcome back to your video. I'm playing Plant Coaster in today's video. We're going to be doing the log flume. So, I'm going to be going with a loose western theme for this. Nothing too crazy in terms of theming. It's kind of just going to be stylized. But, just going to be pretty much just a big pool it's going to sit in. And that'll be that. Or at least these low parts here. The top parts I'll probably leave grass and that stuff. But for when it comes down, I'll make this all a pool in here, and then we will need to figure out where we're going to put the maintenance area. That will probably be at the bottom of this lift here, and then it will just be a crane to take them out, and then you can just service them from there. Ain't nothing too crazy with that. But so I'll get to work on that, and then I'll be able to show a final product, and we'll also be finishing up this area too. But I mean, there ain't really much to do with this area other than the border fence over here. And that's it. So I'll see you in just a little bit. Alrighty, so I finished up the log flume. We'll start off over here. Since this is basically just the start of going into the area, which I did actually want to put into plants, which we can do real quick over here. Wrong tab. Scenery. One here. There we go. Size down. There we go, nothing too much. I'll just slide these two over just a tad bit. There we go. There we go. Alright. That's all good. But coming along here. We don't need donut fencing along here. Due to there being this water here, giving a natural barrier between the ride and the people. And we do need a fence though around the water, just this way people don't fall in it. That's the only thing. So we have our fence along there. It's a nice fence, I would say. On the other side, we do have the magic carpet. And then over here, we have, well, Zileto Padon? I don't know how to say it, but that's just a base thing for the like invisible text with no back drop. So this is the sign for it. I do need a name for the ride, so leave that down below. But here's our queue. Start off into a cattle pen, then we go on back along the exit, and then we go into another smaller cattle pen. And this is enough for the log flume, even though this is a pretty low capacity ride, due to it being in the back of the park. I mean, once we do have this area completed, or at least the amusement park completed, we'll probably get a bit more people, but for now it isn't too popular, so it's fine. So with just cattle pen coming here. Did decide not to put in any fence in here, but that's should be fine. And then coming up here, then come into our station. And this is our station. It's definitely a very odd support structure, but it should work. Instead of having a support column here, we put it right here. And then we also have some cross beams, and then the rest of the station where there isn't air gates is all closed in. So that's where they would have pumps to pump water from the reservoir, which is this pool in here too. From the ride into the reservoir or vice versa. All depending on what they need at any point. Floodlights in there, place to put loose articles, and this will be the access into the pump area. And then a ramp to go down for disabled guests, and then we come out to our exit out to the main path. Like I said, this does have a loose western theme, so it's mostly all wooden stuff and the western stuff. And this sign at first felt very piratey, but just adding this wheel here made it feel very western. I definitely liked how it turned out. But then we have plants and stuff all throughout here. And to clean up the edge of the pool, I just put in these concrete walls all inside of it. And then to flatten it out with the ground, I did put in the planters. Some parts aren't exactly perfect and the terrain comes up over the concrete base of the pool. Especially right here, this is the worst part. But, I mean, dirt naturally would get into this pool. It isn't exactly going to be the cleanest pool, but since no one's swimming in, they wouldn't put too much into that. And this would be the out, and then that would be the in for getting water in and out of the pool and then into the ride. And over here would be filters and some extra storage of more water. And the access to that would be out there and then in over here. And it goes in through the bottom to have gravity help with it. And then this is our little maintenance area here. Nothing much to it. All they would really do is be taking the boats out of the trough and then doing some work on it. there isn't much to these boats too. All it is really the wheels and that stuff. There isn't much in terms of mechanics because there is no restraint mechanism. And then, like I said, there is that fence to stop people from falling into the pool at least as easily. I don't believe, or actually no, there are life preservers, so I do need to put those around on the fence. So I'll go through and do that after I'm done with this clip. But yeah, and then this is our access into the ride area. This allows you to access this lower bit of the ride. If you want to get to this part of the ride, you could just go from the station and save this end bit of the ride too. And then for quicker access, if you were coming from the station, there is a ladder here to get up to here, and it does fold up. I don't know how realistic this would be, but I'm just saying that it would be there, just to give it better access to that top area. And then there is this one, which they would probably have this flush, but because we can't alter the catwalks, and I ain't trying to do custom catwalks, we're just going to have it like that and have it be a little ladder to get out. And then this also allows for access into the rest area. Now you may notice this area is full of foliage. Now that's because water falls out of the trough, leaks a bit. These aren't exactly perfect. And so, that's how you get tons of plants, because it waters the ground, so you get plants. That's how that works. Then we also have trees all around. And because we're right near a cliff here, I did decide to just put in a bunch of rocks and stuff. This rock is not, shouldn't be like that. We'll just drop it into the ground. There you go. And then we'll get rid of this one. And yeah. And then this is our pumping area. And this will be our access road back to here. This is our little access path, or at least one of the ways. So you can get out through the queue. And this is another way. Although this would be probably a bit of a harder way, and this is a way to get trucks and stuff in here. And then we have our cranes. Nothing much to that. And this is inside area of our pool with fencing and that stuff all throughout it. And then we also have the border fence for the entire area. And well, this is the border fence for the park, and then for these lower parts there is don't die fencing, like right here where it does come over the land. But for the rest of the ride, it is over the land high enough to where they wouldn't need don't die fencing for the most part, except for maybe right here. And this area is already closed off to the from people, so it would be all good. And so that border fence would also work as don't die fencing. And then, I mean, this does make a pretty big awkward area, which actually I might close that off. Just connect these two bits of fencing, and then you have this whole area closed off. So this way people can't get into their animals, that stuff, even though they wouldn't necessarily need to do that. But yeah, so I'll put in those life preservers. Leave names for it in the comments, and yeah, we'll go for a ride on the log flume, and then I do hope to see you all in the next one. And if you have enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. See you next one. Bye.